guys, and welcome to Football Unscripted. We're here today to do the early Premier League predictions, starting with Max in 20th. Off you go, kid.
I've got Bournemouth in 20th, just for the simple reason they're not a Premier League club, are they? They've got a small stadium, they won't create the atmosphere like the other teams, I reckon, will still. And they ain't got the quality in players, have they? They're just...
What about Dominic Solanke?
No, it's not Premier League proven, is he? He's had his chance in the Premier League. Didn't live up to it.
Is he more mature now, though? 29
doesn't matter. When you're playing for Bournemouth, is he going to see much of the ball? No, he's going to have 2-3 chances a game. He'll not do it in the Premier League. Bournemouth, 20th.
To be fair, I'm going with Bournemouth as well. I'm sorry to the fucking Cherries, but they've got 11,000 seated stadium. No atmosphere, they're not a Premier League club. As Max said, not good enough, you're going down. In 19th position, I've gone with Fulham Football Club. Craven Cottage, it's been to the Prem, been to the Championship, been to the Prem, been to the Championship. They're a yo-yo club. Yeah. I think they're dead used to going down, and I think it will not change again this season. They're not good enough to reach 17th or higher, even with...
Don't think Mitrovic will perform?
No. Mitrovic, yeah, he got 45 goals or something in the Championship, but again, it's like Solanke. We've seen him in the Prem before. He'll get 8 to 10. That's all he'll do, I think.
For me, in 19th, I've gone for a Premier League team already who has been there for a couple of years, Southampton. I think they don't do enough, they sell too much. I think it's their time to go down. They've been in the Prem way too long. Than the Saints.
What about Ward-Prowse, though, kid? What about them free kicks?
He's the only player they've got who's good enough to, you could say, push a top 10 team in the Prem. They keep selling, relying on you. If you can't keep doing that year in, year out, they're going down this year. Kicking us off in 18th and the final relegation zone, I've got, this is going to be a shock for a few people, Brentford Football Club. I think they're a bit like Sheffield this year. I think they've got that second season syndrome where the first season, obviously, they're happy to be in the Prem. The fans are there, buzzing. They had a good start, opening game against Arsenal. I think this season, they haven't really made much transfers, and obviously Eriksen looks like he's be going.
Well, what if Eriksen stays?
If Eriksen stays, I still think it doesn't make a difference. I just can't see them staying up.
Tony and Eriksen?
They concede a lot of goals. That's what I found out last season. They do concede a lot of goals. They've obviously got a quality manager. I just have a feeling they'll go down.
Well, in 18th place, I've got Macca's 19th place, Southampton. I just feel like it's time for them to go. You know, they've had their time in the Premier League. They seem to buy little, sell a lot. They've sold all their players to Liverpool, and Mane, Van Dijk, and all these players.
Just can't keep doing that.
You can't keep doing that, especially when the level keeps going up in the Premier League. And I think the Saints, it's time for you to go.
They had a bad run last season, didn't they, as well, towards the end?
Yeah, and that's going to continue. Yeah. In 17th, I've gone for my hometown, just scraping it, Nottingham Forest. What a job Steve Cooper's doing, honestly. What a manager. To come in last in the table, 8 games played in the Championship. What an achievement. They're losing a few players, but they've just signed Dino from Manchester United, and they've just signed a striker from Union Berlin who looks good as well.
Was that Liverpool he was?
Yeah, I think the spirit of the team and obviously a bits of quality here and there will just keep them up, hopefully anyway.
I think the way they play suits the Premier League as well. They sit back and then counter. You saw that against Middlesbrough, didn't you?
Yeah.
How good they was on the counter. But for me, in 17th place, I've got Fulham Football Club. I think Mitrovic does it for him. I honestly do. Normally when Fulham come up, they spend a lot of money on 10, 11 players and they never gel and they don't work out for them. This season, I think they'll do it slightly different. I think they'll learn from the mistakes. And obviously, they've got that goal scorer there, which is vital.
Do you think?
And I think they'll just scrape staying up, you know. I honestly do.
Do you think Marco Silva's good enough, though? We've seen him at Watford, Dan. Everton's conceding 5 a game, 6 a game.
I think he keeps them up. I think he does. I think he's been at Fulham long enough. He's in the Championship, and he knows what he's got there. And I think they'll just scrape it. I can't see Fulham. I think Fulham will score more than the 3 behind them. That's why I've got them to stay up. In 16th, I've got the one and only Nottingham Forest. I think they have a good season this year. I think the fans will lift them on their own games. I think they'll have a very good home record this year. think away not too much. I think that you can't expect too much away from home.
Don't you think away will suit them more?
But like I said, the counter they're very, very good at. So them big teams, I can see them upsetting a few, to be fair, and I think they won't comfortably stay up, but I think 4 or 5 points, they're safe this year.
Well, in my 16th place, they've literally just lost Calvin Phillips. I've gone for Leeds United. They've got a striker who can never stay fit, and they've just lost their best player. And it looks like they're going to lose Rafinha 100% to Arsenal
Big
as well.
players.
They've literally lost every good player in the team when they finished 17th last season. I can only see it being a roughly the same or even worse 16th for Leeds. Next up then is 15th place, and I think it will be a slightly worse season for Brentford. But if they keep Eriksen, they could do roughly the same again. I think Eriksen is going to go, and I think he is going to go to Man United. So I put them in 15th. They're kind of a club that's going to be hovering around there year in, year out now. I do like Thomas Frank, but
Good manager.
15th is about the best they can do, I think, next season, Brentford.
For me, in 15th, I've got Leeds United. I think it won't be comfortable again for them. I think they've made some signings and obviously big losses in Calvin Phillips and Rafinha. So 15th, they'll be in the relegation scrap. I'm more than sure of it, but I think they've got the know-how to stay up. That's why they're in 15th for me. In 14th place, for me, I've got Brighton Football Club.
14th?
Yeah, it would be a shock for a few, as they had a good season last season, but they look like they're losing Cucurella, Basuma's out the door, will Trossard go? You lose them 3 players, you're looking, they might be able to go down there, you know? 3 big stars, they obviously lost Ben White last season. They keep losing the big players who start to make a name for themselves.
Don't you think the magic of Potter will keep
Potter, he's the reason I've got him, not in a relegation battle, to be fair with you. I think he's the main man who will steady the ship, and it will be just a safe season for Brighton.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like a B-Tech Pep, innit? He just keeps the ball, keeps the ball. But
yeah.
anyway, in 14th place, which again might be a bit of a shock. I don't know why after the season they've had. I've gone for Everton Football Club. I think they'll do well at home. I think they'll be piss poor away. It looks like they're going to be losing Richarlison for around 50 million, which hopefully they invest back in. They're going to need to. DCL's always injured. I just think it's another boring, bad season for Everton, you know, especially with the owners and what's happened there the past couple of years.
They've got some good players there. I think that it's time for him to perform. Like Alan, he was a good signing before.
I don't think Lampard's good enough either.
That's the question mark for me with Everton.
Yeah.
To be fair.
In 13th place, I've got Crystal Palace. Now, this is where they hover every season basically, between 9th and 15th. That's where you'll find Palace. They're too good to go down, but not good enough to reach Europe's spots. It looks like they're going to be keeping Zaha, and they've got some players coming through like Eze. It's unfortunate they lost Conor Gallagher, but I think another mid-table, decent season, very good record at home for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, and I'm joining you on that one. I've got Crystal Palace in 13th. Vieira had a good season last season. Obviously, took them quite far. Was it the FA Cup? They took them quite far.
Yeah, semi-final.
Yeah, so that's a good season for Crystal Palace. Just a mid-table club in the Premier League. Doesn't do that much. You don't think they're going down, but you don't think they're pushing European places.
He's an underrated manager, I think, already.
13th. Obviously, losing Conor Gallagher's a big loss for him, but again, 13th, safe. 12th position, I've got Everton Football Club. I think after last season, they can only get better, can't they? That will scare him into maybe buying a few players. Obviously, Richarlison looks like he's going. Where he'll go, we don't know. But I think he's not a bigger loss as people think. I think Anthony Gordon was a shining light last season. Be a key play for him. Demarai Gray looked decent in a few games. But I think you look at the signings they made last season, they've got to perform. They've had a year now in the Prem. They know what it's about. Decore, Allen, them kind of players. I think on paper they've got a good team. Now they've got to show it. 12th place, Everton Football Club.
Yeah, I've gone with Macca's 14th. I've gone with Brighton. They finished in 9th last season. I just think they'll drop off it because obviously they're losing a few players this season. I think it'll be respectable again for Brighton Football Club. 12th place. Now this may come as a shock to some people because I think a lot of people are going to have them higher. But I've gone with Aston Villa in 11th. I don't rate Gerrard. As much as people like him as a manager, I just don't see it with him. I think you've seen that in the Premier League already, loss after loss after loss. They've brought in some good players, and I think that's why they'll be pushing top 10. But other than that, I think they're just another mid-table club that can't reach Europe.
For me, in 11th, I've got Wolves. They're a club what's slowly starting to decline, I think. I feel like they had a good season last year. This season won't be as good for me. I reckon
They did drop to 10th last year.
They could lose Neves, and if they lose him, he's a key player. You've got Martinez getting on, a few players getting on, Jimenez not performing like he used to. I feel this is slightly high for Wolves for me, and that could come as a shock. But Wolves 11th, mid-table, won't challenge Europe, won't go down, just safe in the middle. In 10th, right in the middle of the pack, the new money bags, Newcastle United. I reckon they'll have a good season. Eddie Howe seems to got everything together there. Brought a few new signings. What we'll see this summer, we don't know yet, because they've not signed anyone too big. They've signed Nick Pope, 10 million from Burnley.
Good business.
Shrewd bit of business that. So yeah, Newcastle, depending on what they spend and who they spend it on. I've got him for 10th now, but that could obviously change knowing the money they've got.
I've gone with one place higher for Wolves. I've got Wolves in 10th, Mac Adam in 11th. I just think it's another season where Wolves are pushing at the start of the season for top 6, but then they just die off at the end. They've got quality, but I don't think enough. Like, you look at teams like West Ham now and Arsenal coming back and that to get in Europe. I think 10th is about best they can do this season, Wolves. Neves out the door as well, so we'll see. 10th place Wolves. In 9th position, I have got Newcastle United. Obviously, everyone knows about the new owners at the football club, and I think they're going to invest 100 to 150 million this summer. They haven't yet, but I think they will do. Sven Botman looks like it's going to happen. They've already got Pope. God knows who they're going to go after next. I don't think they're good enough to get in Europe yet, but I think they're going to hit a nice position in 9th, and I think Newcastle fans will be happy with that first full season with the new owners.
For my 9th position, it's Leicester Football Club. I think they could go down further, but I think given Brendan Rodgers' quality and the quality of what's staying at the club, what it looks like staying at the club anyway, could change. I think 9th position is good enough. I think they'll be challenged in Europe, but they won't have enough in them to get any. I think they'll comfortably miss out. Last season they didn't start well. This season I think they will start better, but yeah, 9th position, just a nothing season again for Leicester. I think they're slowly fading away from top 4, top 6.
I think Brendan Rodgers could get sacked this season.
They could, that's what I'm saying. This is a weird position for Leicester. They could go further down, but I think they've still got a bit of quality there, to be fair. In 8th position, I've got Aston Villa Football Club. I reckon they will have a good season this year. They could even push Europe. The signings they've shown intent. So Diego Carlos, Coutinho signed them permanently, Kamara. I mean, they're still looking for business as well.
It's about the manager though.
Digne coming in, he means business. And you've shown, I know it's a Scottish league, but he's shown Rangers was down here and he brought him to the league. So I think obviously the Premier League's a different beast. But Villa in 8th, it seems like
that'd be a great season for Villa. But anyway, in 8th, I've got Macca's 9th, Leicester Football Club. I think they'll just miss out on the Conference League, which will be hard to take for Leicester fans. But I just think they're another club that needs serious investment now. You've got Vardy getting on. The back line looks poor now, unless obviously Fofana stays fit, which looks unlikely whenever he plays. Yeah, I just think it's going to be one of them seasons for Leicester again where
club
they
in
struggle.
decline, aren't they?
Yeah.
Decline.
Now then, it's the Hammers in 7th place. I think they're going to get a Europa Conference League spot. I know Macca has them higher, but for me, they're not better than Arsenal, they're not better than Spurs, not better than United, and that's who they're competing with to get higher than 7th. I think if they keep Rice, that'll be good. They need to sign they're another club that need to sign to go to that next level. Like, Antonio's not good enough anymore up top. They need some players at the back. But I think 7th for West Ham's respectable.
For me in 7th, he's not going to like it. I've got Man United. And I'll say why. I had United initially higher than I thought they'd be pushing top 4. but it seems the transfer window
I'm
has
disgusted.
just gone abysmal for him. So for me, it seems like they've got another yes man in Ten Hag. The club decides what he gets, and that's it. He's happy with that. So yeah, United 7th. You've got the players still there who caused drama last year. I think it could be a worrying season for United. Moving on to the Europa League spots, and I'm going to kick it off with Arsenal. Before the transfer window opened, I had him in 7th, taking United's spot. But now I think they've shown more intent in United in the transfer window. Looks like looks close to signing Rafinha. So obviously Jesus they've been linked with. They've shown real intent. So that reason I've got them higher than United in 6th place.
Yeah, I've got Arsenal in 6th as well. I just think that they will invest a lot of money, but I don't think they can catch up to the other teams. Obviously, I'm putting United higher, which is a bit hypocritical, but I just think Man U have a better manager and better players now. But we're talking about Arsenal anyway. Saka's brilliant, Martinelli's brilliant. I just don't think they can push for top 4 though, and I think it's 6th place in Europa League for Arteta and his men again. Now in 5th, it's a surprise, and I'm sorry to the Blues, but I think Chelsea are going in 5th place.
United in the top 4.
I just think that with everything that's going off at the club, like it's not going to be, the highlight's not going to be on the pitch. It's going to be off the pitch all season. I know Tuchel's a great manager, but I think in the league this season, I think last season towards the end they started to get figured out a bit. They don't score enough goals and they go through droughts. Like I think they could finish 4th, obviously, or 3rd, but I've gone for 5th, and I think it's going to be a bad season for Chelsea.
Yeah, I agree with Mitchell here. I've got Chelsea in 5th. You know what that means. Yeah, I think, like you said, the focus will be off the pitch. Obviously, they've just lost a £100 million striker they spent big on last season to Inter. Will they get someone who scores 20 goals? I don't think so. Obviously, they've been linked with people like Sterling, would be a good signing. But he's a player what needs the right system around him. You look at Chelsea, and I think they're too late to the party to start doing the transfer business, to be fair, to get them players over the line.
Do you think Chelsea will win something this season?
No, I think the back line's been weakened very, very drastically. I think Rudiger going, Christensen going, Thiago's 37, 38 now. You look at that and you think they're in for a bad season for me. That's why I've got them in 5th. The Champions League spot, the Hammers are going to like this one. We've got West Ham United.
I can't believe
People are going to be laughing at this one, but for me, they're going to take advantage of United's nothing in the transfer window. Arsenal, a lot of players coming in, going to take time to gel. Chelsea look like they're not doing much. A lot of defenders going. West Ham going to take advantage of that.
Do West Ham have a big enough squad to play Europe and that though?
I
and
think
the Premier League to get 4th in the Premier League.
I think they have a good start and they put the Europa Conference on the back burner. You've got to think they're not playing big teams like they was in Europa. That's a lot higher standard than.
Don't you think they'll still play the first team though because they're desperate to win something?
Yeah and no, but I still think West Ham will take advantage of the 3 below them. They're not having that season where you think they're shown intent. The only one I can say who have is Arsenal, but they're a long way behind. And I think West Ham have been hovering around these last few years. They've been that noisy, horrible team what nobody expects to do well. And I think this season, this is the season they go and get top 4.
Guess what, boys?
Melvin, Rice, the lot.
Forget West Ham, we're talking about the biggest club in England now. Manchester United are getting top 4. Not good enough for Manchester United at all, 4th. But I think it'll be a progressive season. We've finally got a manager who wants to pass, move, and not just sit 11 players behind the ball and counter-attack. We're finally going to keep the ball. Eric Ten Hag hopefully drills into these mardy, disgraceful players that they can't just moan and do nothing all the time, you know. I think they're going to get 4th. I know it's out there a bit because of the season we just had, but we can't get any worse.
You've got a yes man in charge. It's as simple as that. No transfers. He's accepted it, and that's it. No top 4. That's a long, long way away. United.
Leave it in the comments. Who's more likely to get 4th? Man United or West Ham?
West Ham.
Don't be silly. In 3rd, I think it's obvious now. We both might as well both just talk about it. It's Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
I'll start off by saying the reason they're going to get 3rd is because of one man. And it's Antonio Conte. He's a born winner. And every club he goes to, he wins. Obviously, third's not winning, but
I
third for Tottenham is.
I think
big.
Spurs win something this year. I don't know what it'll be, but I think Spurs do win something this year.
Do you think they'll go far in the Champions League?
They could do, because they've got that front three. They remind me of Liverpool
Deadly,
3 or 4
Deadly.
years ago, where no one expected them to do something, but because of the council, the front three, they got to the final. It's where we lost to Real Madrid where Karius made them mistakes. So I think they remind me a lot like that team. They've obviously made some big signings. Basuma, Perisic.
Looking like they're going to get
Spence as well. You look at that and you think they're a team.
They're also linked with Jesus.
I think that team what could be pushing Liverpool and City. I think they'll be close to them.
So Spurs are the dark horses. We've both got them in third.
For me, and obviously this is going to give away the champions, and unfortunately I've got City as champions, which as a Liverpool
Doesn't
fan,
believe in that badge, look.
as a Liverpool fan is horrible. But can you look past Erling Haaland? I don't think you can. I think Liverpool are weakened.
What about Nunes?
Liverpool are weakened. He's there for Mane. We've got Diaz and Mane. We lost a world-class player. City don't lose world-class players. They've only just put the best youngster in.
They've just signed Calvin Phillips as well.
Calvin Phillips has gone there now as well. They've got strength in every position.
They've got Rodri and their backup's Calvin Phillips.
They look like they're getting Cucurella as well.
Let me just stop you there though. Because even though they're my biggest rivals and I can't stand the club, I've gone for Liverpool Football Club to win the Premier League title. And I'll tell you why. It's just time for Liverpool to win the Premier League title. It's 4 out of 5 for City. And I think Liverpool have got to go all out in the league now. Forget everything else. They've got to go 3 points every week. Just go all out in the Premier League. It's time for Liverpool to win the league.
Do you think Mane costs us on that? I think if Mane stays,
no, I don't. Because Nunes will get 20 goals. Diaz and Salah, all Salah has to do is play how he usually does. Another 20 goals. Diaz, I think he can get 10 to 15.
I think though the contract situation with Salah will affect him this season. I can't see him.
They've got to get that sorted out. Yeah.
I can't see him getting 20 league goals, and that is the difference between City and Liverpool. City look more settled at the minute. Liverpool, few things going around. So that's what for me. City top, Liverpool second.
Well, I've gone for Liverpool first, City top. Liverpool first, City second. And thanks for watching the video. This has been the early Premier League predictions. Thank you to Max, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Man United top 4.